y'all, and welcome back. I'm Ashley, and thanks for joining me today. I will be talking about my favorite books that I have read this year so far. I wanted to preface this by saying that all of these books are 5 stars, but this is not all of the 5-star books that I have read this year so far. I typically give out 5 stars pretty easily. If I like a book, then I will give it 5 stars, but just because I liked it doesn't mean that it is one of my favorites. So I have compiled a list of my favorites, and you might have heard about some of these books earlier in my book reviews that I do on Sundays, but I figured it would be nice just to have a compiled list of books that I would typically recommend to friends. You can just easily reference this list if you were looking for something good to read in the future. So let's just go ahead and get started. This first one is a Netflix series, and I think that has kind of added to my love of this book that I can kind of go back and rewatch, and it's like just a reviewing of this book because the book is pretty close to the Netflix series. And so that is Stealing Home by Sherryl Woods. In this book, we have a woman who is getting a divorce from her husband, who is prominent in the town. He is the pediatrician in their small southern town, and she is devastated by their divorce, but she's determined to hold it together for their 3 children. So she is now having to look for a job because she has basically just been a housewife helping out with her husband at the office and just doing things for the kids. And so she's having to return to the workforce, which is difficult. So her 2 best friends rally around her and decide that they are going to buy an old house in their town and convert it into a women's gym and spa. And she reluctantly agrees, and so I really enjoyed this book. Like I said, I loved it for the fact that they have converted it into a Netflix series, and so I'm really enjoying it. There is a little bit of difference between the book and the series, which really makes me angry, not because of the differences, but because I couldn't solve the cliffhanger from reading this book from the series. I'm just so upset about that. But anyway, I really enjoyed the book and I really like it. And it was definitely one that I would recommend if you were looking for a book that you can really get into that is a series. The next one is also a Netflix series, and I have definitely talked about this before. I really enjoyed it a lot, and I love the book so much more than the movie, and that is Virgin River by Robyn Carr. We'll link the video above that I mentioned it and gave my full review in, but this is about a nurse and midwife who has recently lost her husband and needs to get away from all of the memories that they have left together in LA. So she moves to the small Northern California town of Virgin River, and after some very big trials in getting there and in just her living conditions, she finally settles into the town. This is one where you really get to know a lot of the people in the town. It is very character driven, but I just love that you get to know everybody in the books and the characters, and they feel like friends that you would be catching up with. Again, this is a Netflix series. It's very popular. So if you want to hear more of my thoughts, you can go watch the other video and to get my full review. The next book is How to Walk Away by Katherine. This is about a girl who thinks she has it all together. She is about to get her dream job after coming out of school, and her boyfriend is about to propose to her, except she is afraid of planes and he is about to get his pilot's license. So in his proposal, he takes her up on a plane, but then when they come in for a landing, the plane crashes and everything in her life is then changed. She does not get the job that she was thinking about, and she's just very disappointed with her boyfriend, and it is her recovery. And even though this sounds like it would be a very depressing book, I mean, a girl who is about to have everything that she could have ever dreamed about basically loses it all. It is funny and like uplifting, even if it is about a more cynical, depressing topic. So I really enjoyed this. I really love just the messages that Katherine Center puts in her books, and that everything is and can be positive. Like, even when her characters are handed lemons, they turn it into lemonade. So I really, really enjoy that about this book, and I would definitely recommend it. My next book is one of my book of the months that I actually read, because if you know me, I have a whole book cart of book of the month books that I did not get to, or I have not gotten to yet. So this one is One by One by Ruth Ware. So this one is about a chalet, and the host who is hosting, she doesn't own it, but she works for the chalet company. And so she basically lives at the chalet and hosts guests in this chalet in a popular ski tourist. It's in Europe, and I want to say Switzerland, but I might have the location wrong. But it's a very popular skiing destination. And so they are hosting this startup tech company who has created this music app. And it's basically where, if you think, they don't mention names, basically if you think Spotify with live listening and locations. So like you could listen live to what somebody else is listening to. Like, so whatever your favorite, movie star, whatever that they were listening to, you could also listen to their music live. So that is this startup company. That is their thing. And so they come for a retreat at this chalet to go skiing and to talk strategy and everything else. And one by one, people start getting murdered in this chalet, and there's an avalanche, and it was just perfect, like, whodunit. I loved it. I don't think I figured it out. I had to read it in order to figure it out. And once I got to that point where, like, oh, we know who the killer is, I was literally sitting on the edge of my seat. It was so good, and I would definitely recommend it. It's not super scary, but it is like one of those edge of the seat type of books. And my last one is a actually super recent read, and that is Almost Just Friends by Jill Shalvis. This is in the Wildstone series, and even though it is a series that you do not have to read these in order, they do not go like chronologically. Each book is about a different set of characters. They just all happen to take place in Wildstone, and unlike Virgin River or the Cedar Cove series, it is not like they talk about many of the old characters. You might have heard a few of the players that are in the book. So, like, for instance, the bartender is mentioned, but it's not like he's a major part of the book. So you can read these in any order. So if you want to pick this up, even though it is book 4, feel free to pick it up. This one is about a girl who has lost her parents, and at a young age. So she was very young. I think she was maybe like 10 or 11 when she lost her parents. And so her and her 2 younger siblings go to live with their grandparents, and eventually her grandparents pass away when she is about 18. So she has to raise her 2 younger siblings from then on. And she has finally gotten them where they are off living their own lives. And she is going to fix up her grandparents' house and cottages in order to sell them so she can go work on her own dreams. She is currently an EMT, and she wants to go to school to be a nurse practitioner. So it all starts to go awry when her 2 siblings return back home, and the handsome stranger next door keeps popping up in her life. So this was absolutely amazing. It was a super cute romance. I loved it. Actually, Piper and Cam, that Piper is the main character and Cam is the handsome stranger that shows up. I love them. They are probably my favorite book couple ever. I just loved them. I don't know what it was about them that made me feel like that they were my favorite ever, because it's not like I've ever talked about my favorite book couple before, but I just loved their interactions and how they got along. It felt so genuine that it really just made me fall in love with them. So I will pick up Jill Chavez's books, but it's not like I gravitate towards them like I do Mary Kay Andrews. But every time I pick up one of her books, I'm like, why don't I pick them up more often? I love her writing. She is so, like, the romance is perfect. There's steam, but it's also cute, as well as just funny humor. Like, all of the main characters just have this awesome sense of humor that just makes you laugh out loud. So I would definitely recommend picking this up if you want some like laugh out loud humor and cute romance with also some steamy scenes. So that is my list of favorite books so far. I'm hoping that come the end of the year, I will have a wonderful list of books to recommend to you. But I hope you've enjoyed, and I will see y'all again soon. Bye, guys.